Om Sairam to all the Sai devotees. By the immense grace of Shri Sainath Maharaj, let us all now heed to the biography of great apostle of Shri Sai Baba, Pujyashri Narasimha Swamiji, narrated in the book As the Flower Sheds Its Fragrance by DR.G.R. Vijayakumar. Chapter 21, Efficient System of Sai Prachar, continued. A spacious hall with a stage called Sai Kala Mandap rose up here in 1955, which was used for arranging lectures, cultural programs, etc. In this manner, a big building was raised on this ground in a phased manner, even though by 1953 itself the All India Sai Samaj had a permanent structure. Between 1944 and 1950, the All India Sai Samaj published calendars containing Sai Baba's pictures in tricolor from time to time and priced at 5 annas only. The library was opened on Vijayadashami Day in 1944. Radhakrishnan was put in charge of the library and by his untiring efforts put in a good foundation for a library with a very good collection of books. By then, Narasimha Swamiji had taken up extensive tours all over the country and had spread the message of Sai Baba to the nooks and corners. He had built up by 950 75 Upasamajams affiliated to the All India Sai Samaj and a network of thousands of sincere Sai devotees. Over 15 Sai Baba temples were built all over India as a result of Narasimha Swamiji's extensive tours and many more under construction. A band of volunteers readily assisted him in Sai Prachar work and Sai Baba, who was confined only to Shirdi up till 1936, had now moved to the entire India. During his extensive trips on Sai Prachar work, Narasimha Swamiji was a victim of accidents. In May 1943, a bullock cart hit him as he was crossing a road in Vani Vilas Mohalla of Mysore. He was wounded in the left forearm and right foot. They were hospitalized till June 13, 1943 and then sent to Madras. Like this, he sustained fractures on 7 occasions, but he welcomed each accident as Sai will and a way to alleviate his bad karma. He used to rest for a while, and the moment he used to get better, again start off on his whirlwind trips of Sai Prachar. We still see old photographs showing Narasimha Swamiji in plaster cast and giving lectures on Sai Baba. Slides were made to picture the life and work of Sai Baba. On Saturday evenings from March 1953, lantern lectures were organized along with bhajans at the All India Sai Samaj premises. Sri P. Gopal Swami delivered lantern lectures in some places in Tiruchirappalli and in Maharashtra. Sai Sudha announced the readiness of the All India Sai Samaj to help Upasamajams by sending lantern lectures with equipment for Sai Prachar. Narasimha Swamiji inaugurated on the pattern of Shirdi the 3 Sai festivals, namely Sri Ramanavami, Guru Purnima, Baba's Mahasamadhi anniversary. Laksharchanas, bhajans, devotional music, spiritual discourses and feeding the poor called Narayana Seva formed the common program of these festivals. He inspired the Upasamajams by sending them messages for each occasion. At the headquarters, Ramanavami and Mahasamadhi anniversary were observed for 10 days by organizing musical entertainments every evening. Vidwans Papanasam Sivam, Dandapani Desikar, Maharajapuram Vishwanatha Iyer and other artists gave free performances. Bunny Bai and other artists presented Katha Kalakshepams and Harikathas. They drew crowds by their talents and helped in publicity. Since 1953, Sai festivals included Rathayatra processions on the main streets in the vicinity. Narasimha Swamiji had not neglected the writing part of his work. He produced early in 1944 a play in 7 acts in Tamil titled Shri Sai Charitra Natakam. 2 others, namely A.S. Narasimhan and Narasimha Dasan, also wrote dramas on Sai Baba's life. The Triplicane Dramatic Society, the Rasikaranjani Sabha, and other artists' associations at Madras and other places in Tamil Nadu put these plays on board. The income generated was quite good and useful for furthering Sai Prachar. Narasimha Swamiji also wrote Sai Harikatha to help those who sought to popularize the Sai movement by giving stories on Sai Baba with music. Sai Harikatha enabled the rural people to understand Sai Baba faster. Narasimha Swamiji commenced his great task of writing a detailed biography of Sai Baba in English by publishing the first volume in March 1943. Volume 2 was published in July 1956. Although the manuscript was ready, Volume 3 was published in July 1957 and Volume 4 in 1969 as posthumous works. Chapter 22, Efficient System of Sai Prachar. In January 1945, he published The Glimpses of Sai Baba with the foreword by Justice Shri C. N. Kuppuswamy Iyer. In this work, Narasimha Swamiji corrects the popular notion about Sai Baba that he is only a miracle worker who delights in granting material favors to his devotees. The author has brought out how in every one of his actions and dealings with his devotees, Sai Baba was always having prominently in his mind the spiritual welfare of those devotees. In this book, Narasimha Swamiji has been able to throw a flood of light on the inner meaning of Baba's sayings and doings. In the midst of his lecture tours and turning out Sai literature, Narasimha Swamiji also attended to his official duties. He disposed of correspondence, granted interviews, presided over committee meetings and annual general meetings, and directed the daily activities at the headquarters. Some idea can be had of how much he was handling from the following extract taken from page 6 of Sai Sudha, April 1945. The President finds himself unable to cope with the increasing pressure of work, organization of the Upasamajams and mandirs, and supervision of the matter for Sai Sudha are quite enough to keep all his time and energy. The institution suffers no less than the individual by concentration of all work on an old pair of shoulders. Narasimha Swamiji was doing everything, travel, correspondence, writing, etc., all by himself. Had it been a government activity, a separate department would have been created. A separate university would not have undertaken the writing work he had completed. He used to direct the activities of Upasamajams himself. he used to send them messages periodically. He used to reply each and every letter addressed to him. On an average, he used to work for 18 to 20 hours in a day. Though his body had worn out, he was a dynamic young man at heart. In January 1946, the idea of holding an All India Sai Devotees Convention was mooted by Narasimha Swamiji. The movement grew out of the local Upasamajams, which in turn looked for inspiration and guidance from Narasimha Swamiji and his group of volunteers. It became necessary, therefore, for a conference to be held between the delegates of Upasamajams and Narasimha Swamiji, or a body of volunteers deputed by the headquarters. This conference was planned as an annual feature to discuss problems of organization and concert measures to strengthen and expand Sai movement. Accordingly, after careful preparations, the first All India Sai Devotees Convention was organized on 16th, 17th, 18th and 19th May 1946 at the PS High School, Madras. 200 delegates registered from outside and several local devotees attended. The proceedings opened daily with prayer and service in the forenoon at the All India Sai Samaj. The afternoon sessions were held at the convention hall in PS High School, Mylapore. Narasimha Swamiji, as president of the All India Sai Samaj, was elected president of the convention and also chairman of the reception committee. The convention opened in the afternoon of the 16th May 1946 after prayers in Sanskrit, Tamil, Telugu and Hindi. It is interesting to note that Narasimha Swamiji, while welcoming the delegates, referred to shortages of food grains, fuel, electricity, petrol and paper. He requested the delegates to accept whatever plain food was offered to them. He exhorted them to include Narayana Seva, feeding the poor, in the activities of their Upasamajams and to work for communal harmony and brotherhood. Among the messages of greetings received from those were from Rao Bahadur M. W. Pradhan and Justice Sri M. B. Reg, who had personal contact with Sai Baba. Dashganu Maharaj, Martand Mahalsapati and Swami Keshavaya participated actively in the convention. Delegates discussed the activities of their samajams and problems, narrated their experiences. Resolutions were passed in line with the presidential address. As stated in Coimbatore by the Sai Baba mission, it was also resolved that each Upasamajam should think in terms of starting Sai Baba Gurukulams, Kanya Vidyalaya and Narasimha Ashramams to extend educational facilities and medical relief for the destitute, poor and needy. The convention also noted with appreciation the working of the Sai Baba High School started by S. Adinarayana Rao at Anantapur in Andhra Pradesh in 1944. Narasimha Swamiji outlined his plans of starting a free dispensary and a school at Samaj premises for the use of slum dwellers and other poor and downtrodden people. The cultural program of the convention included music, Sai Harikatha in Tamil and Telugu drama based on the life of Sai Baba. The session closed in the afternoon on 19th May 1946 with Narayana Seva organized at the backyard of the Chowltree at 136 Broadies Road. More than 1,000 persons were served with food. A copiously illustrated souvenir printed on art paper of the size of Sai Sudha and priced at 8 annas a copy was brought out. publishing convention souvenirs of larger size has become into practice ever since. The first All India Sai Devotees Convention set the pattern for other conventions held in later years. Narasimha Swamiji's age and declining health precluded him from attending subsequent conventions which were held far away from Madras. But he sent messages to all these conventions. The impetus given to the movement by these conventions is beyond description. It became popular year by year and the network of Sai devotees widened. The Convention of Sai Devotees, which started in 1946, became an annual feature. At Coimbatore in 1947, at Madurai in 1949, at Calcutta in 1950, at Dharwar in 1951, at Pune in 1952, at Mumbai in 1953, at Baroda in 1954, the conventions were a great success and devotees were looking forward to these conventions eagerly. These conventions have enabled millions to join the Sai Marg. Narasimha Swamiji was happy that the movement he started has taken gigantic proportions and is continuously growing. By then, at the Alamelu Mangapuram sector of Venkatesha Agraharam in Madras, a plot was purchased and a temporary shed was built. By donations from generous devotees, due to a powerful appeal in Sai Sudha and sale of Sai literature, funds were raised to complete the building of the front hall. Here Sai Baba's picture was installed and worshipped on Guru Purnima Day on 7th July 1952. By October 1953, construction of the temple with a tower on the model at Shirdi was completed. Now, on 9th September 1953, the Maharaja of Mysore, H. Sri Jayachamraja Udayar, visited the Sai Mandir and donated rupees 5,000, which helped the Samaj to buy a printing press. The Mahakumbhabhishekam of the temple was fixed on 18th October 1953 during the Mahasamadhi celebrations. The programs started with Shri Sai Laksharchana and several homams. On 17th and 18th, Guru Aradhana was held by feeding many devotees and fakirs. The Kalasha Sthapana was performed on the 18th and the function closed with procession of Sai Baba with music and fireworks. The joy of the celebrations was marred by an accident. Earlier to the Kumbhabhishekam, Narasimha Swamiji had instructions around 7:30 a.m. from Sai Baba. You won't be able to perform Kumbhabhishekam, so do Kalasha Puja now itself. Devotees were surprised to see Narasimha Swamiji climbing the ladder to do Kalasha Puja at 7:30 a.m. itself, when the actual Muhurtam fixed was at 11 a.m. Around 8:30 a.m., Narasimha Swamiji slipped in the bathroom and broke his thigh bone. He was admitted to the Madras Medical College Hospital for treatment. His right thigh was in plaster cast for over 8 weeks. As already indicated to him by Sai Baba, Narasimha Swamiji could not perform Kumbhabhishekam, and on his behalf, Radha Krishna Swamiji performed it and also other rituals connected with it. In spite of agonizing pain and immobilization in plaster cast for 8 weeks, Narasimha Swamiji did not express this pain on his face. He welcomed this accident fall as Sai Baba's will and a way to alleviate past karma. Sai Baba's Namasmaram was constantly on his lips. In fact, he had converted his ward in the hospital to a miniature Sai Mandir. Narasimha Swamiji's untiring efforts had put the Sai movement on a strong pedestal. By 1956, All India Sai Samaj had grown by leaps and bounds. It had good revenue. Swamiji had groomed a band of dedicated volunteers. Dear Sai Bandhus, we shall now close the 22nd chapter of the biography of Pujyashri Narasimha Swamiji, and the rest will be continued in the next chapter. Bow to Shri Sai, peace be to all. Om Sairam.